All right. All right. In today's news, way more important than a freaking Green Day for AMC. Way more important than that, right? Who gives a rat about AMC up freaking 3.25% today? We got other things to talk about, and that is Jim Cramer is pissed. He's pissed. Oh, he's pissed. Who pissed off Jim Cramer? Guys, I gotta disclose, I am gonna talk about the stock today, but I do have to talk about this because this is just some funny shit. I can't. Check this out. There's an account out there for Twitter. It's called Trey's Subway Cup, and he says this. I'm gonna guess your wife told you that she thinks you're a joke again, and you're taking it out on us. That's not my opinion. That's his. I have no affiliation. But you got a reply out of Jim Cramer. He said this: Trey's Subway Cup. I had a delightful call with my wife and the staff today. Maybe one day you can lose that embarrassing and moronic name. And I clapped back. I said, "Don't you dare insult my cup, Jim." That's my cup. That's my cup, baby. Come on. Oh, jeez. Honestly, I don't know what it is. Maybe some of the criticism finally got to him. I have. I'm gonna stay unopinionated here. I just thought it'd be interesting to to share some interesting stuff going on Twitter, because that's the most entertaining thing that I've been able to watch for a minute. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Trey's Trades, where we freaking talk fast and don't skip class. I like to preface by saying that I'm not a financial advisor or expert, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Let's get into the video. So today, my friends, my family, my fellow Gorilla Gang, we got an update on ticker symbol AMC here. And probably the most interesting thing is the short interest data, which we are going to go over here just in a little bit because it has gone up significantly today. But you also had a Green Day, right? We're up 3.25%, which is actually against the grain of the flow from yesterday's video, right? I showed you guys the options flow from unusual whales, and it was bearish, right? You had a left-leaning sort of bearish scheme kind of coming into today, and you did see a little bit of selling pressure immediately at open, but it did get a bounce out of that demand zone and kind of followed the bull case scenario, which I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't think was more likely, right? I thought that the continuation of downtrend was more likely, but you do see the strong support hold up on this demand zone at about the $37.80 range. So that's a beautiful thing to see. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts moving into the next couple of days. You are waiting for sort of a new trend to form. We are going to get into that, but macroscopically speaking, as I've said a million times, and I actually have been lacking on for the last couple of videos, you gotta zoom out, right? Look at the big scale picture. Look at where things are going right now. Remember where you've gone. Reflect on that. Celebrate that. Enjoy the present moment, green days, red days, all that sort of stuff, because it's all perspective, right? It's how you have to look at this thing. So we're gonna go over the Ortex data, gives you an idea of the short interest that we're currently sitting at, which is absolutely stupid, disgusting right now. This is like the day I freaking picked up Titan. Like that's how excited I am. The day I found him outside my freaking Airbnb. That's some nasty looking freaking data. So we're gonna go over that. We're gonna go over unusual whales, give you what the call options look like. I haven't even looked at them yet today, but I'm taking a stab and a guess at the fact that they are going to be more bullish than they were yesterday, just based on the fact that you got that demand zone bounce. Now, I'm going to finish it off with the technical analysis, the trend, what you could potentially see, because we are currently in a supply zone, and what you want to see is a push through that supply zone, which I'll go over here in a little bit, and then we'll get you on your freaking way. So without further ado, as per usual, my fellow freaking Super Saiyans out there, let's get into the video. So the Ortex data, what do you got cooking up today, right? Short interest is up significantly, up to 19.96% current short interest of free float, which is a huge freaking spike up. It was at 20.18 this morning, back over 20%. You do see shorts piling back into their positions here. And on top of that, the average cost to borrow is starting to go up just a smidgen. Now, the utilization has been bouncing around a lot. If you don't know what that is, utilization is out of all available shares that there are for lending, how many of those are actually on loan. They give you a percentage of that, right? It comes out to 89.55%. You can see that's actually a little bit of a drop from the previous day. Now, the thing that's actually interesting here is you are kind of seeing this up and down consolidation between a channel in terms of how many shares are actually getting lent out on a daily basis. And that is fascinating to me, because you are watching the short interest sort of continuously go up. I mean, it's had these sort of ebbs and flows, but the overall trend is up compared to the utilization being sideways. And that leads me back to my main point that I've reiterated over the last couple of weeks, saying I do think you're having more lenders out there, lending stock, providing more ammunition to get into this play to push the price down. And my thoughts on why, right? Why would that be the case? is people realize how freaking out of control this stock is. I mean, if you look at the overall chart setup, my friends, and you see the damage that's been done, right? Take the last couple of days out of it. Take the last freaking 4-day stretch, 5-day stretch of red out of it. What's the grand scale picture, right? Well, look back here. Look how much these shorts have been trying to pile into this thing and freaking drive it down. They're just not winning. And that comes back to lenders who maybe are long on stock. Maybe it's BlackRock, Vanguard. There's a million freaking institutions out there who are long on stock, right? But these guys could very easily be lending out stock to some of these short positions to, first off, make an interest rate, because you do see that annualized cost to borrow. That's how much they'd make every single year off of whatever shares they're lending out. And secondly, it's just kind of free money. It's free chicken, because these guys are long on the stock, right? They know which direction it's going. They know grand scale picture. This thing's going up. It's moving in the right direction. So they're thinking to themselves, I mean, fuck, why not? I'll lend out some stock to some freaking silly chickens and make extra money while I wait for this thing to go up, right? When this thing goes up, oh, I want my shares back. Give them back. Give them back, Jim. No, I'm playing. I can't back up that claim. That was a joke. I promise, Jim. But anyways, that's what you got rocking in terms of the actual short interest data, right? So now we're going to come over here to Unusual Whales, and I am going to pull up for you here AMC, and we're just going to show you the premium range of $100,000 or greater. And I always only have the ask side on and not the bid side. Now, what do you see that happened here today? Contrary to what I was expecting, to be honest with you, you do see an increase in overall put premium coming into tomorrow. Now, what's interesting about that is yesterday was extremely bearish as well. And I've kind of talked about this before, but I want to reiterate it again, right? Coming back to the overall short interest in this stock, it's sitting at about 19.96% current short interest of free float. But I do think it is significantly higher than that. And the reason why is because there are ways to hide short interest. First off, naked short selling. Secondly, failures to delivers. Where the failures to delivers derive from, I would argue, the most actively traded derivatives market within the entire stock market, AMC, right? There are insane amounts of freaking leverage that are pumped into this thing on a daily basis, and they get hidden in puts. Look at the puts option open interest for simply tomorrow, right? All the way from $40 down to $15. There are people out there putting money at the $15 freaking strike for this Friday, September 24th, saying, I think it's going to go down. And this is a way to hide short interest. They can pump freaking leverage in this, pump liquidity in the put side of things. And that creates failure to delivers if they run in the money. Same with call options. If those run in the money, they can't deliver on it, right? This is a big freaking market makers and hedge fund butt fuck that you're watching happen on a daily basis. And that is why it's important to be able to take a step back and think about that, right? Now that brings me back to the options flow. Looking at this right now, why is the put volume so heavy, right? Well, on top of heavy short selling, the stock being it had a microscopic downtrend, a good 4 or 5 day stretch of pulling back, getting shorted down, getting pushed down, maybe some institutions pulling out. I can't back up that claim. That's just my thought process behind what you're watching with the Evergrande situation, right? A lot of blue chips kind of getting pulled from, right? What you're watching is puts getting used as short interest within the stock market. That's my hypothesis. That's my idea, right? Now, I can't back that up besides just using my own common sense and thought process, but I do think it's likely and I do think it's possible, right? So going into tomorrow, what do you have as a potential sort of move? Well, what you're looking for here is a push through this supply zone. What is a supply zone? Essentially, it is points in which you can expect heavy movement to the up or the downside, because these levels have been identified as points in which big buyers, aka smart money, or in this case, dumb money for them, because these are the algos that are trying to freaking wreck the stock. They're points in which the big money starts stepping in to make big moves happen, right? So with that being said, what you're watching for here is a push through that supply zone, because it can bring you up to the next overall supply zone. And this is a pretty decent sized move, right? That would bring you all the way back up to freaking $44 to $45 and some change. So that's what I'm watching for. Right? That's the bull case scenario heading into tomorrow, is a continuation of trend here. What you're going to know, and what I would watch for to sort of identify whether or not it's going to follow this trend, is if it rejects out of this supply zone. You will know pretty much instantaneously, right? You're going to be able to watch this thing. I'm just going to color this white so you can see this. You'll be able to watch this, and it'll come within, I would argue, 10, 15 cents of the top of this level. And if it doesn't want to break through it, it'll reject. And maybe it'll retrace all the way back down to this freaking demand zone, or maybe it'll just pull back a little bit, right? But from there, it'll if it rejects, pull back some, come back up and retest that overall freaking supply zone. It could even happen intraday. It could be the same day that you watch that sort of thing happen. But this bounce off of that demand zone is bullish. And honestly, it's a nice freaking thing to see, because 100% thought. I really did. I thought you saw a little more downside to come off of this heavily oversold move to the downside from freaking $52. I mean, honestly, what you saw is a absolute flush from 52 bucks all the way down to freaking 37 with really no hesitation, right? It just got pushed down and absolutely freaking slapped by the same big algos who are trying to get the apes out of the stock. And this bounce is much needed, right? That was a beautiful thing to see. But what you want is a couple days of trend continuation in order to form a new bullish trend to get back up to those previous levels. So that's what I'm watching for. That's kind of where you're sitting right now. Not quite out of the clear. Not quite out of the clear, but that's the thing that I'm watching for, right? I want the best case scenario to be a breakthrough at supply zone, which will ultimately bring you back into that mid 40s range. And from there, it's going to look beautiful, right? That's a nice place to start to get that momentum back, to get this thing moving in the right direction. And that's what I've got for this video. So hopefully you enjoyed the intro. That's a new slice of freaking lemon pepper cake. I don't know if that'd be a good cake flavor, but nonetheless, appreciate everybody tuning into the video. Lights, apps, always much love. Catch you on the next one, and peace.